Alan Kotler here with secretsofdigitalmarketers.com. So excited to have Charlie here with me on the show. How are you doing today, Charlie?
I'm doing great, Alan. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. Well, the reason I wanted to have you on the show is to talk about something that almost nobody's talking about. And that is, what do you do with the money that you earn in your business? Because if you continue to earn money in your business and you don't put a right portion amount in away, you might have somebody visit you that you don't want to. So what Charlie does is teach people how to get financial freedom, how to be able to set up their business and earn money and be able to pay the right amount of taxes and be protected when they are an entrepreneur. So, welcome to the show, Charlie. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in this industry.
Well, I graduated actually uh, over 30 years ago, actually, with a finance degree, 4-year finance, business finance. And you know what? All that schooling never taught me about managing my finance or even how to invest and have financial freedom. I mean, I had literally have to learn the hard way, up to school of hard knocks. I mean, I got my real estate license, I had my insurance license. I even have my financial firm. Um, and when the economy turned around to the downslope, remember back 2008? Back in 2008, I lost my business partner. He passed away. I lost my business, my financial business. I lost my house, and I almost lost my family. And so I literally had to rebuild my financial in order to, just get back on my feet. And that's how I learned a lot. And this is what I discovered. I mean, in the midst of losing my health, I said a prayer. I go, God, if you get me through this, I will follow the purpose, my purpose in life, right? And what? Guess what? I mean, I actually got my house back. I actually got my house back cheaper. You know, how many people do you know that lost their house, got that house back cheaper? I wiped out 300,000 in mortgage debt and another like 80,000 in credit card debt. And then I had to rebuild my finance. And you know what? One of the frustrating things is that, hey, I'm a financial guy, and now how come I get in financial trouble? Right? And then I keep hearing this in my head, right? It's like God saying, hey, Charlie boy, the reason you have to go through this so you can have compassion for a lot more people, so you can learn and use the tools and resources to help a lot more people. So ever since then, I like kind of like on the journey to uh, teach people the skill set, right? Consult with people, give people the skill set that they can master the finance. Why? Because the dream and goal, everything is always related about finance, right? If you have your big dream and you don't have a way to fund your dream and to live your dream, there's no dream at all.
It's so true. And the important thing is being able to figure out the way to fund your dream.
Mhm.
So, can you tell us little bit more about your financial freedom system and how that helps people be able to save the money, invest the money, and live life well?
Yeah. Like a lot of people, most people, when they get financial advice, usually they go to a financial advisor, right? And most financial advisors to me are nothing more than, most of them uh, are nothing more than just a salesperson for some financial product and service, right? Insurance and mutual fund, stock bond, or whatever, right? But they don't really teach you how to make good financial decisions, right? They teach you how to buy their product, but they don't teach you, and you don't know how good the financial advisor into like 5, 10 years later when you look at your financial portfolio, right? And I find that what really missing is that nobody really teach you about making better financial decision, because they don't teach you that in school. I mean, I have a 4-year degree and they didn't even teach me any of that. So what I
Yeah.
did is I put it together, and it's kind of like I put together a program is make, manage, and multiply your money. It's a what do you call it? A money mastery system. Right? Because I realized that most people spend a lot of their time making the money, right? But making money is just only one part of building wealth, right? You not only have to master making the money, you have to master on how you manage it, right? How you keep it. And then from that, how do you grow it? How you multiply it? So the rich people always have that balance, right? Because the poor people, all they do is just focus on make, but they don't keep any of it and they don't really grow. So you have to master that three. And what I want to share with you today is what I call the cash flow funnel is showing you like how does money work. And I think that's kind of like the essential that everybody needs to learn and understand. And then from there, then you can plan your finance around that, man. But at least you have a picture of how money works.
That sounds really exciting. So I really want to know more about how you do this, specifically the steps and strategies that people that are listening need to hear. So let's dive right into it, okay? So tell me from the start, what do you recommend people to do?
Well, let me share you with a slide, right, to show you how money works, and this will really help, right, understand about money. Okay, do you see the cash flow funnel slide?
I do, yeah. Put it in full screen. That's perfect.
Yeah. So when money come in, you make your money. It's either through active or passive income. So what I mean by active income is income or the flow of money that you receive from any work that you do that require your participation. So when people have a job that they have to be there and make money, that's called active income. If you work your business, if you're self-employed and work your business, and then that's self-employed people are also active income. If you're a business owner, but you still have to be there by day to day and participate, then it's still considered active income. Passive income is income where you receive where you don't have to personally participate in it actively. So passive income usually coming from your usually from investment, some kind of investment, real estate, mutual fund, even like let's say people in network marketing, some of them receive from passive income, right? They build up their business up to a certain point that they don't have to work and they receive passive income. One of my colleagues, actually, she hasn't worked for the last couple of years and she still get, $8,000 a month in passive revenue. If you set up your business correctly, whether online business or brick and mortar business, that you don't have to participate personally, that you have some kind of system that would generate income without you being there, then that's what I call passive income. So as soon as you make your income coming in and before it enters in your pocket, guess what? Uncle Sam likes to get a chunk of it, right? What we call taxes, right? Income tax. So income tax is, how much you pay is actually depend on what type of work you do, right? I mean, if you employee, as an employee, pretty much you have the highest tax rate because you spend the most amount of taxes. Right? As a business owner, you can reduce that because you have expense. So some of any expenses, any money that you spend on whether rent or from your auto, from traveling, from eating, anything that facilitate and help you making money, you can deduct, right? So that kind of like help reduce, the tax you pay. Right? So after that, or the tax that you pay, then guess what? Your next biggest expense is going to be your lifestyle, right? Your what I call living expense, and that vary from different people, right? I mean, Some people can live on a couple $1,000s a month, and some people, have to make at least 10, 20, 30,000 a month just, to cover their lifestyle or more. Right? So that'd be like your rent, your food, your entertainment, your dream, all this is kind of like in here, right? Is what you want to be, do, and have your lifestyle, right? That's one of the biggest expense, right? So whatever you have left, right? And sometimes people, people actually overspend, and they don't even have money for saving. So if you spend more than what you make, where do you think the money coming from? Is if it's not coming from your work, your business, where you're coming from? Is it coming from credit card? So that's where debt come in. So what do you want to do? You want to make more money, spend less, so you can have some type of saving. And what is saving? Saving and short-term saving. The first recommend short-term saving. Why? Is to cover at least 3 months of your monthly expense of your whatever called lifestyle. And have at least that. I mean, you should have more. I recommend that you should have a year worth, because hey, if you stop working, where your revenue is coming from? If you get sick, if you have an accident or something, you'll be in the hospital and you can't work, where is that revenue will come? I mean, if your loved one is sick and you have to spend time taking care of your loved one, where's the revenue you're coming from? And that's why you need saving to cover your expense. Hey, let's say you have enough for 3 months, that's what I call emergency saving, for the rainy day. So you have it for anywhere from 3 months to 12 months, the whole year long. And after that, whatever you have left, and it's going toward what I call long-term saving. And long-term saving is geared toward what? Investing in some type of investment.
Okay.
You have any questions so far?
No, this is great. Keep on going.
Yeah. So in here, I list on the various type of investment, and I did on purpose from left to right, based on the highest return that you can get, right? So to me, investing in yourself, I think that's the best investment, because that can give you like 1,000 times return, right, or more, right? If you invest correctly. So when you invest in yourself, what? Invest yourself so you can improve, so you can what? Make more money, right? And you can be smarter about how you manage your money, and smarter and learn how money work, and smarter, so you can invest more. Learn how to invest more effectively. So that's investing in you, right? The better you are, the more money you make, right? The next investment I recommend is your business, okay? Because in your business, you can have leverage. In business, if you do your marketing right, if you set up your business right and run your business right, you can get 100 times the return, 1,000 times return. Yeah. So in business, it's great, whether it's online, offline, have multiple business, right? So the next one is real estate, right? The reason for real estate is because it's, you can have leverage, right? Because let's say you have like $100,000 kind of like piece of real estate or something. The reason you can get leverage, because you can put down 20%, 20,000, and the rest you can actually borrow from the bank. And when the money it's grow from the 100,000, you can actually get the benefit from the 100,000, where you only invest in 20,000. That's what we call leverage. And that's the good thing about real estate.
So Corey, so Charlie, what's that word again? I think you like to say it. It starts with an L.
Leverage.
So talk to me about what does it mean to leverage? Like the banks leverage our money, right? They take our money and invest it with a multiplier effect. But
Yeah.
how can consumers, people that don't have tons of savings, make money work for them and give them leverage to get them out of the place that they're currently are at?
Yes. Well, leverage is about using other people money, right? So other people can coming from like the bank, or can also coming from investor, right? And that's how yeah, leverage is about using other people money to get into an asset, an investment, and that you can benefit a lot more than just 100% of your own money. That's what leverage is. And this is the key to to multimillionaire. It's like they learn how to leverage other people money, the bank money, investor money, versus their own money, because you could only have so much and you could only invest so much until you kind of like ran out of money. So does that help clarify?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So let's talk about the area about short term savings.
Okay.
So right now you got your active and your passive, right? Which is all the money and revenue you're making. Some goes to taxes, of course, other ones later go to lifestyle. But what happens if your lifestyle extends over the revenue that you have? People are slowly getting into credit card debt. People are slowly living paycheck to paycheck, and they're just stuck in that rut of not even being able to save or put towards their retirement. They're not even able to cover most of their credit cards. What do you say to those people? How can they use the cash flow funnel to help them?
Well, they have to understand, well, when I look at people stages, right? Your life is you aim to have financial freedom, right? And the opposite of financial freedom is financial slavery. And what is financial slavery is that when you don't have enough money for your lifestyle, when you don't make enough money, and people still trying to fund their lifestyle, they actually spend more than they make, then that go into credit card debt, right? In some type of debt. Uh, well, what happened when debt accumulate over time, when it build up over time, then most of the money that you make, instead of going your lifestyle, a portion of it is going to pay toward that debt, right? The interest of that debt, right? I mean, if you look at credit card, what is credit card? But 10 to 20 something percent, right? And can you imagine when you go to the bank and you invest and create a saving account, how much they give you? They even give you like 1%. I mean, how do you think the bank make money? The bank make money is like they get your deposit, they give you only 1%, but they turn around and loan it to you for what, 4% or 5% or something on your car, and on your house, it's like 4, 5, 6% or something. And then for credit card, they loan it to you for like what, 15, 20%, right? I mean, that's how you make money. I mean, that's how they make money. So, hey, as an entrepreneur, uh, you need to be like a bank, right? You have to learn how to leverage your money. You have to learn that, hey, take that money and do something, invest in something that gonna give you a higher return than the interest that you're gonna borrow.
So true. I mean, the challenge is when you have such high credit card bills, you don't have money to invest because you have to pay the interest.
Yeah, do you know that if you just pay minimum on your credit card, do you know how long it take for you to pay that off? I mean, like paying that off, like what is it going to take like 20 to 30 years just to pay that off? Yeah. When I was in college, I borrowed like student loan. It took me like 20 something plus years just to pay it off. You know, if you pay minimum, can you imagine like those people that want to become a doctor, a lawyer, where they have like 8 to 12 years of schooling and they owe like couple $100,000 of student loan debt by the time they get to college. You know how long it take. I mean, most of the big chunk of their income when they start making good money is paying off the student loan, paying off debt.
So let's get specific. So if I had large credit card debt,
Mhm.
what would you recommend me to do? What portion should go to pay off my credit card debt and what should go to short-term savings?
Well, if you want, well, you always should have short-term saving, right? That's for emergency, right? Because if let's say your credit card max out, right? And everything. If something happened to you, where you can get your funding? Where you can borrow from relative? What, right? That's the other source, right? Or you get stuck, or you get, if you can't pay for your home, your mortgage, you get kicked out, right? By your landlord or by the bank. So it's important to establish some type of short-term saving first, right? And then after that, then find way to pay off the credit card. Well, one of the best way to pay off credit, well, if you just pay minimum on your credit card, it's going to take you 20 to 30 years. The best way is learn how to negotiate with the creditor on paying that off. And you can actually pay that off in actually 2 to 4 years. And we actually have a system on that. We do have we actually have a course on that. I have a business partner that been in working in the debt and debt collection for, I mean, he have like over 12 years experience. And then he actually ran into financial trouble, and then he had creditor going after him, and after that he's actually literally turned from from the bad guy into a good guy. It's kind of like how Darth Vader turned to good, right? So he kind of like that. So he took all his knowledge from debt and credit collection and then used that to help people to get out of debt. So that's one of the faster way to pay off debt. So with that, you can literally pay off your debt 2 to 4 years versus 20 to 30 years.
So let's talk about some of these debt paying strategies, right? Mm-hmm. Oftentimes people hear if you pay your minimum, it's going to take forever. So what you should do is pay your minimum and then also make a second payment because that goes specifically to principal. Is that correct?
Yeah, because most of the time most of the time people just don't really pay toward the principal. Most of them actually pay toward the interest, right? And so if you make more than minimum payment, then you make payment toward the principal, right? But if you want to do it faster, then you find way to negotiate with the creditor on the principal. So let's say you have a $20,000 credit card debt, right? If you negotiate, you can actually negotiate down to possibly half of that and even more, So now instead of paying interest on the $20,000, you pay on $10,000 or even less. So that's how you can get out of debt a lot faster than paying minimum.
So talk to us specifically about that. So let's say you have high credit card. How would you go about getting these reductions? I mean, oftentimes you call and they say, maybe we can do something because of COVID, or maybe we can give you a couple months, deferment. How do you really get them to work with you? And how do you get these good deals for your clients?
Well, my partner have a business that we actually help negotiate debt, right? So that's kind of like a business in itself. And so let's say people have like $20,000 of debt or something. We help them negotiate down to $10,000 or even $5,000. And um, that's one way to do it, on negotiate on the principle, right? Uh, but when you do that, it's going to take a toll on your credit for a while, right? And that's people don't understand that. They go, whoa, what if it take a toll on my credit? Because in order to do that, in order to negotiate with creditor, right? Um, you have to show them that, hey, you can't afford the big payment. That's why you negotiate with them. And the way sometimes you get leverage of that is like if when you're missing some of the payment. And then they kind of get antsy, and then they want, because if you stop making payment for a while, then you're going to start getting bad credit, but it gives you a chance to kind of like leverage on negotiating with the creditor. And I can't tell people to stop making payment, but yeah, but that's how, hey, remember when back in 2008, when, hey, I don't have enough money just to pay my mortgage, not alone paying my credit card. But when I stopped paying my credit card for a while, then a lot of creditors started calling me and they started negotiating. You go, hey, uh, you know, we can negotiate if you just pay us 50% of it, or even 20% of it, or 30% of it. And that's how I can get rid of my credit card for a really low amount of money.
Brilliant. I mean, that you got to be in a position where you have to let them know that you can't make the payments. Something's going on in your life. You need to be able to, work with me. I want to be able to take care of this debt. I just can't do it. So, I mean, oftentimes you're already in that position. It just means you got to reach out to them and see what they can do for you. Because oftentimes people, are embarrassed or afraid. They don't want to do it. But these people own the debt. They are in an interest for you to be able to pay them back so it can be resolved. So that's what's having Charlie and his business partner and the different strategies he talks about on your team to work with you to negotiate and to be there besides you while you do this is so important, because you need to be able to do it in the right way possible. So can you talk a little bit more about the cash flow funnel and how does everything work with each other? How does your business, your real estate, your 401k, your mutual funds, and your stock bonds really work with the whole system? How do you know what to put where, what percentages you put in each one, and at what level beyond short-term savings and long-term savings do you recommend people to invest in those other areas?
So Alan, when people talk about financial freedom, and most yeah, it's a great idea, but what does that really mean, right? Literally, what does that really mean? Well, to us, financial freedom, your goal is to generate enough of this asset, to build enough of this asset that it can create passive income, right? So when your passive income is equal or greater than the money that you spend, the money you spend on tax, on your lifestyle, and also investing, and not to add it, also adding in is your inflation, right? Because the value of your dollar actually become less and less each year. I mean, there's a 3% inflation. You have to add that in, right? So when you have enough some type of asset investment that create passive income that more than you're spending, that's when you truly reach freedom, right? And that level is it depends on each person is different. And some people mean that they have to make $10,000 in passive income per month. Some people all they need is like $2,000 a month. It depends on how do you set your lifestyle. And that's the difference between reaching for the financial freedom or become financial slavery, right? When, let's say the opposite, right? The opposite is you don't make enough, and you spend a lot more than what you make, and then what? Where you get that money? It's coming from debt, and most of your revenue is going to be paying off debt. Then that's kind of like going downhill, right? That's opposite financial freedom. That's going financial slavery. Financial slavery is that, hey, you cannot retire. You can't sit around and do nothing. But if you sit around and do nothing, you get kicked out of your home. You don't have food to eat. You don't have money to spend on food or anything. That's the opposite of financial freedom. And then most of your income will actually pay off toward your debt instead of funding your dream, your lifestyle. So, your job is to build up this, to invest, right? Invest in your asset to build up your portfolio. And it's recommend that if you want to prepare yourself, especially look at the COVID thing happen, I mean, it turned a lot of people finance upside down. I mean, some of the business actually gets shut down. They can't work because of COVID. And that's where it's important that you diversify, that you actually have multiple stream of income, right? Multiple stream income is like, hey, you have multiple business, hey, certain business that you cannot work in COVID, but you better have other business that can work in the COVID. What about investment? Some investment, they actually fall apart during COVID. So, in order to survive and actually drive in life, you have to create multiple stream income. And that's the goal. The goal to have financial freedom is have multiple assets and build multiple assets so you can diversify, so you have multiple passive income that will help fund your lifestyle, help fund your dream and goals.
Yeah, that's so critical. I mean, the whole goal is that you make enough income passively to take care of your expenses. That's when you meet financial freedom.
Yes.
When you have your real estate or your 401k or your annuities or your bonds paying enough money so that way you don't have to worry about your debit card or your credit card because it's all an auto payment. You already know how much it's going to cost and it's already paid for in advance. You have so much long-term savings and short-term savings that you're not worried about your lifestyle because the lifestyle is covered by your assets.
Yes.
That's when you truly get to freedom. When you have a business that runs itself, you have team members in place, you have franchises that are running, you've developed systems and strategic tools and processes, or you sold the business and you're getting payments on your patents or restitution for the entire amount of time that you've been working there. So, you got to think about yourself as these different economies, these different things that you need to add to your overall profile of how you're making money and what you got to do to be able to, make sure your taxes are taken care of, make sure your short-term savings is happening, your long-term, and then your lifestyle in accordance. So it sounds exactly like what anybody would want. Now, with the reality of it is, are you willing to do the things that are necessary to get there? So, Charlie, talk to us about what clients need to use your system and be able to get good results with it.
The three different stages I call the survival, the sustaining, and soaring. Right? To me, the survival is like when you barely make enough income to even cover your living expense. Right? That's what I call survival, or even you don't even have enough. Right? Sustaining is that when you make steady income that consistently cover your lifestyle at least you have the saving, and at least you start putting aside. I mean, you should put at least 10% of your income aside toward some type of toward your investment, right? Toward your saving and investment. So put 10% away at least minimum, right? Um, um, and so the other stage that people that I can help people with is like in the soaring stage, right? Soaring is like when people make their passive income really enough to, I mean, cover their lifestyle, and now they're really building wealth, right? They're building fortune that they can create legacy that they can pass on to their children, right? So the reason I mentioned the different stage of people finance is that uh, each stages require different tools and resources, right? So for example, like the survival stage, what do they need? Well, survival stage, they need, hey, they need to get the cash flow up. They need to get more positive cash for positive cash flow. So they need, get the, what you call it, debt reduction, right? Pay off the credit card fast, right? So we have a program for them with that. And for the people who in sustaining, right, what the next thing they need? Well, they need to start building the investment, right? So we represent certain investment that is safe and secure, and also protecting the income, and then building retirement, right? So the way you do that, you also buy insurance, right? You have your insurance. There's two types of insurance. You have insurance for your car, your auto, usually the things that you own, right? Just in case something happened. Let's say, just in case your house get flooded or get burned down, or get break in, just in case you got a car accident, right? Those cover for the property, right? And then the other type of insurance is for you, right? You have your health insurance, you have life insurance, right? So health insurance, like, hey, if you get sick, and you have an emergency, you go hospital, and how are you gonna pay for that? Right? That's where insurance come in. Because if you pay by yourself, like, a trip to an emergency room is like $10,000 to $20,000, right? So if the insurance doesn't cover a big chunk of it, it's going to come out out of your pocket. It's coming out from your saving, you know.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so you have to get insurance, life insurance, and I represent one of the insurance that you don't have to die to get the benefit. I mean, people like you see people in COVID, right? They get sick, right? They can't work, right? They have some type of disability. They can actually get a big chunk from the insurance, right? So those to protect, right? And that's for the sustaining. What about people sowing, right? When you make a big chunk of money, right? Your biggest expense is going to be Uncle Sam. You're going to pay a lot of taxes. Yeah? You're going to pay a lot of taxes. I mean, when you start making good income, when you start making over like 200K in net profit, I mean, you're going to pay like 30 to 40%, even more of taxes, right? Depending on what state or what type of business you're in, right? And so we help people reduce those taxes, right? Down to save people. Like I remember one of my dad company, right? When I helped them, when they were kind of like upside down their finance, right? So the first year that I helped them with, they break even. The second year they were making 600K in profit. And guess what? The CPA handed them like a $300,000 tax bill. Well, that's like 50%, almost like 50% in taxes. So, my dad had to tell me, go find solutions. So I found solution and save him a couple $100,000 in taxes. So, if you save a bunch of money in taxes, guess what? A lot of money going to go toward building your investment, right? Building your asset. So that's how you get rich faster, right? That's how you get wealthy, is by learning how to reduce taxes, reduce expenses, reduce interest, credit card payment, interest payment toward your debt. So more flow going to go toward your saving, going to go toward your asset, your investment, so you can have more passive income, so you can create the dream and the lifestyle that you want and the dream that you go after. You know, you travel, you get to charity, and you work because you want to, and not because you have to. So we help people in
So
like
true.
different stage, you know. So it depends. So I offer, a sit down and have an assessment with people and see where they are at on their financial journey. And then from there, I give them the tools and strategy that help them move to whatever the next level and gear toward financial freedom.
So, Charlie, if people wanted to know what to do next, how to take the next steps, and be able to have that consultation with you so you can give them some customized financial advice specifically to where they're at in the model that you showed, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So the best way to reach me is go to the website and make an appointment with me. It's callwithcharles.com. So call CALL with charles.com, and they can make an appointment, and I'm going to give them an assessment to see where they are at and to see how I can help them with either reduce their debt or have some strategy to reduce the taxes or invest more wisely, where you have something more safe and secure that give you a higher return than the bank give you.
So once again, guys, if you didn't have a chance to meet Charlie in person yet or learn more about what he's doing to help people, no matter their level of career, no matter how far they are being an entrepreneur, but actually being able to effectively use the money that they're getting to invest it in a vehicle, invest it in themselves, invest it in their assets, and be able to pay down their credit cards faster, he's the guy to talk to. So what you want to be aware of is when you're starting a digital marketing business is that you're going to have to, declare some of this money that you're making. So you want to put yourself in the best possible situation. You want to have the right company set up. You want to make sure you talk to Charlie. You want to make sure you have all your finances in line. And then you got to know how much you're going to owe each quarter. You're going to have to know where is going what, how to deduct people that are your salary employees, how to deduct expenses properly, how to be able to structure your organization. And that's really what Charlie has a great ability to do, is give customized advice based off of where you're at in your business at that time. So if you're just starting, there's different things that you need to know to prepare and get in place so that way you can properly accept payments and be able to get everything in line. Or if you're further in the process and you're currently making sales, to actually how to be able to set up your business so that way you pay less taxes when it comes time for Uncle Sam to come around. So, Charlie, can you give out again how they can reach you and what are some of the bonuses that you're giving out for people that made it to the end of this call that really want to know how to take control of their financial future, and how can they reach you again, Charlie?
Yeah, they can book a call with me, callwithcharles.com, callwithcharles.com. And in the strategy session, in the session, I give them kind of like an assessment where they are at, right? And as a bonus, I can share them with my financial worksheet. So that give them kind of like, where they are at. It's going to give you kind of like a snapshot where they are at, right? As far as how much money they make, how much money they spend, and also give them an idea of where they're at with their liability, or the debt they owe, and all the asset they have. And then from there, then we go and we discover on, what their goals, what their objective, what their financial goals, what their dream and goals. and then design their financial around that, right? To serve their dream to go. I mean, why the heck we work for, right? It's for our dreams.
It's for the dream. And you know what? You need gas on that fire to move your dream forward. And that gas on that fire is your money. So when you properly learn how to give the right amount of taxes, not too much, and things that are completely legal and are appropriate, when you learn how to allocate your assets so that way you pay the right amount of money versus what is available for other people, all these tax loopholes, all these tax laws, all these things that are available for the 1%, anybody else can do if they know what they are and how to invest in them. And Charlie can show you how to do that with his specific financial system that he teaches his clients. So thanks so much for coming on the show, Charlie. I think we had a great little talk about what to expect as you start making money in the internet marketing business, how to be able to structure your finances, what to look at. So that way, if you know you're spending too much or too little in each area of investment, as well as how do you control your own personal expenses, paying down your debts, and a ton of other valuable information. So once again, go to bookacallwithcharles.com. Once again, bookacallwithcharles.com. If you need to get this area of your life in order and you want to be able to pay the least amount of taxes, have the protection, and build true financial wealth. So once again, Charles, thanks for coming on the call. This is Alan with secretsofdigitalmarketers.com with another interview for you. Thanks again, Charles. Glad to have you.
For having me on.